4 expert tips to accelerate your progress in hot yoga. Bikram, Barkan, you want to get better? Then listen to me. And make sure you watch all the way to the end, because the 4th tip is by far the most important one. And if you're not implementing all 4 tips, it may hinder your growth. I've been traveling the world, literally the world, teaching hot yoga. The Barkan method for 20 years. And before that, I was doing Bikram yoga workshops. And what I find is a lot of people come in and they just go through the sequence, especially if you're in the Bikram world and you know the sequence. You do the breathing, you do half moon, you do awkward pose, all the way through to the end. You come in, you do it, you go. Especially if you're doing it on a regular basis, it becomes almost mindless. You know exactly what to expect. I'm saying change all that. You have to have mindfulness. You just can't come in mindlessly doing the exercise and leaving. And that brings us to tip number 1. You've got to set realistic goals or tangible goals. And before we continue on, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the like button if you're enjoying this video. Ring the notification bell. You get notified when I post a new video. Any questions or concerns, put them down below in the comment section. I'm happy to get back to you. You want to continue to learn all about hot yoga, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the like button right now. Let's say your goal is to get more flexible. It's not just to get more flexible. It's not to do the posture like someone in the front row who's extraordinarily flexible, doing, let's say, the full position of standing bow or the full position of standing head to knee. That's an unrealistic goal if you can't even straighten your leg yet. From the flexibility side, what's your tangible goal is the next inch. And if you're outside the United States, the next 2-3 centimeters. That's all you have to think about. And this is an equation that I came up with long ago. And I always say it's one of the most profound things I'll ever say on this channel or anytime I'm doing a teacher train program. And that's this. Find your starting position in every pose you do without judgment. This is what is. Don't be frustrated that you can't get that leg all the way out. Remember I told that story about Dennis, a student of mine. He was so frustrated that he couldn't straighten his upper leg and standing head to knee. I said, Dennis, your goal isn't to do the final position. Your goal is to go just that next 2 inches. And that's a tangible goal. Because if you're halfway, well, now we're doing standing head to knee, and you're halfway to straighten that leg out, and you're frustrated that you can't get it all the way to that full parallel position, that negativity will ripple into your physiology and actually make the body tighter. In order for the body to respond, you say, okay, this is what it is. This is where I'm at right now. I'm not going to make a judgment. I'm going to hold this position, and all I'm going to do is find the next inch, the next 2 centimeters, the next level. That's my tangible goal for the day. If you can go 1 inch every day, you're going to straighten your leg out in 2 weeks. Give yourself the tangible goal. The body can accept that, and the body will respond. Now, let's say your goal is to get stronger in the pose. Let's say you've got a lot of flexibility, you just can't maintain the position. An unrealistic goal is, say, I want to hold this position the whole time, especially standing at to knee, which should be held for 60 seconds. I know a lot of Bikram teachers now do 60 seconds, and the second set was 30 seconds. For us, it was always 60 seconds in both sets. In the advanced class, it was 2 minutes on each side. We didn't do 2 sets in the advanced class.
Way too much.
But an unrealistic goal is to go 60 seconds when you can only really hold it for 20 seconds. So what's your tangible goal? Your tangible goal is 22 seconds if 20 is your goal. Your next goal is 25 seconds if 20 seconds is your maximum. So we can go that extra 5 seconds. But now this is where the mindfulness comes in. So you can have this internal clock. You know, okay, I'm holding the position for 20 seconds. I still want you focusing on alignment, but at the same time you have an internal clock of where the timing is. I'm going to go that extra 5 seconds. It's like cracking the whip on yourself. You got to crack the whip on yourself. Give yourself that 3, 4, 5 second goal, and that's going to make all the difference. Now, forgive me if you hear thunderstorms and lightning and rain, because that's what's happening right now. We're in South Florida. All of a sudden, it just started to rain excessively. I don't want to script the video because I'm on a roll, but if you hear thunder and lightning, it's not sound effects because it's actually raining outside. Now, if you're not flexible or strong, then you got to come every day. I've said that many times before.
It's not funny.
In fact, I recently did a couple of videos, and check that out after you watch this video. When you need to get more flexibility, watch this video. And if you want to get more strength, watch this video. So 2 separate videos that address both sides of the coin. But again, if you're not strong or flexible, then you got to come a lot more often. And that brings us to tip number 2, and that's consistency. Krishna Ghosh used to say, do you brush your teeth every day? Do you go to the bathroom every day? Then you should do yoga every day. Now, as far as 7 days a week is concerned, I've always said this before, I'm not a proponent of doing it every single day. I think you should give 1 day for the body to rest. 4 times a week should be a minimum. The first time I came to yoga, I was working at the LA airport, LAX. I was trying to be a singer in Los Angeles. And I said to Bikram, well, I worked 5 days a week, I'll come on my 2 days off. He said, nope, you got to come 3 times a week. So then I started coming 3 times a week, and before you knew it, I was coming 2-3 times a day. That's a whole nother story. I disagree with Bikram. I think 3 times a week isn't enough. 4 times a week should be a minimum. If you're really serious, and I think if you're watching this video, you're serious about getting better at hot yoga, then you should be coming 4 times a week. 4 times a week should be a minimum. 5 is great. 6 is ideal. And if you're going to do it, 4, 5, or 6, do them in a row. Don't do 3, take 2 days off and do 2. Do them in a row. You're going to build momentum. When I'd start my yoga week was on Monday. It was always my stiff day because I took Sunday off. Friday, Saturday, I was peaking. That's when I was soaring. I would take Sunday off, start again on Friday, start again on Monday. If you're taking every other day, or if you're taking 2 days in between, you're always in Monday. You're always in catch-up. That's the last thing you want to do. There's no way you're going to continue to build momentum and improve faster. So you got to do them in a row. Now, if you're not able to find a studio that's close to your house that you can't do yoga on a daily basis, then I've created the Barkan Method on-demand membership. We have over 500 classes, and I can be your teacher. You can just turn on your computer whenever you want, or on your phone, or any device. Actually, it'll come into any device that you have, and I can be your teacher. I also put a link down in the description below. You get a 7-day free trial. Check it out. See if you like it. We have the Barkan Method Hot Yoga class and the Barkan Method Hot Vinyasa class. In my studio in Fort Lauderdale, every January we did a 5-day-a-week challenge. They would put their name on the board, and they have to do yoga for at least 5 times a week for 2 months, and that we'd give them a prize. We'd give them a credit in the yoga store. So people that were coming 3-4 times a week and they took on the challenge, they would improve more in the first 2 weeks of coming 5 times a week or 6 times a week. They would improve more in the first 2 weeks than they did in the previous 6 months. Consistency is such an important thing. So got to keep your practice consistent. You're going to see yourself improve so much faster. Tip number 3 is what happens preparation. What happens before class, and what are you going to do after class? The last thing you want to do is eat a meal before you do a hot yoga class. I remember years ago, I used to go back to Los Angeles 2-3 times a year to hang out with Bikram after I opened my school in the early 1980s, and I brought a couple of my students once with me. We went to the advanced class. Actually, Amy Cleese was teaching it back then. Bikram wasn't teaching it then. And right before I was hungry, and I ate this bran muffin, and it was almost like right before the class, it's almost like the bran muffin had reconstructed itself to its original condition and was stuck right there in my stomach. It was the worst class I ever did in my life. Don't eat before yoga class. So eat something light at least 2 hours before. Because if you eat too big of a meal before class in that hot room, I don't know how hot they get it. I mean, a lot of the Bikram classes these days is 105. In the Barkan world, it's 100 degrees. You may throw up in the middle of class, and I've seen that happen. I was doing a seminar once in Louisville, and this one fanatic student was doing the class, and she was all excited that I was there. I was doing a workshop, a Bikram workshop, and she was doing the class, and all of a sudden she had to throw up. She ran out of the class. There was a laundry basket, threw up in the laundry basket, turned around, didn't skip a beat, and came right back into the class.
That's disgusting.
Obviously, we don't want you to do that. So eat something very light at least 2 hours before, and make sure you hydrate. That's really important. You're going to be sweating like crazy. Drink tons of water before the class, and make sure you bring the water with you in class so you can continue to hydrate even during the class. And hydrate afterwards. A lot of times you'll get dehydrated after the class. Make sure you drink a lot of water afterwards, and also electrolytes. And that brings us to tip number 4. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make in the Bikram Barkan Hot Yoga world, when they come into the position, they almost become stagnant. Don't move. Now, Patanjali, who, if you're a student of hot yoga history, which is one of the passions that I have in my teacher train programs, who go through all the way from the beginning of time all the way to present day time. By the way, if you're interested in becoming a Barkan Hot Yoga teacher, I have links down in the description below. We'd love to have you join the family. But one of my passions is history. Patanjali says, be still in your yogic asana. But he's not talking about the type of yoga that we do in modern day times. He's talking about sitting in your asana, which actually means seat, so you can sit still in meditation. We're not meditating in our yogic asana. We are, now some people say it's a moving meditation, but I disagree because it's just really a matter of semantics. Meditation means connecting to the universe. In your hot yoga asana, it's a different concept. It's a different mindfulness, unless that happens to be your goal, but that's another story. But back to what I was talking about. You don't want to be stagnant or still in the position. There's movement. You want to feel your body elastic. Now, what's going to accompany Tip number 4 is how you do each set. If you're in the Bikram world, you're doing 2 sets in pretty much every single pose. In the Barkan world, many of the poses we do 2 sets. The first set should be completely different than the second set. I see a lot of people, it's just the second set is a continuation. No, the first set's an awareness set. The first set is a alignment set. Make sure you're in the right position. Make sure you're patient within the pose. I always say the more patient you are in the first set, the more results you'll receive in the second set. It should be a different consciousness, a different mindfulness when you're doing the first set. That's just the setup. But now when we get to the second set, this is really where tip 4 connects, because now you're no longer stagnant. You're no longer just staying and holding the position. You've got to feel your body elastic.
Welcome back, Elastigirl!
You got to feel your body extending and stretching. In the standing bow, we got to get our shoulders away from our ears to extend our body. Standing hip to knee, you got to drop your shoulders and extend your arms to get that leg all the way out to that parallel position. You're not just stuck here. In Bikram, everything is tight, 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 tight. Your arms and your hands have to be loose and relaxed. You have to understand where the strength is and where the flexibility is. And you don't want to have your whole body in tension. You want to only create tension that's necessary to maintain the position, because there's an isolation. What area are you stretching? What area are you strengthening? And when you have the understanding of the isolation in your mind, that'll then translate into your body. So now you have the strength that you have to maintain the position, but also the flexibility that you need to go to that next level, to find that next 2-3 centimeters. And you're no longer stagnant, you're now elastic. What a difference it's going to make, because we're always thinking about going to the next level. We're not stagnant holding the position. We want to improve, we want to stretch, we want to feel our body elastic. So now back to tip number 4, and this really connects to almost all the tips except for the preparation one, and that is we have our tangible goal. We're trying to get to that next 2 centimeters or the next 5 seconds. But you got to make sure that you're in the right position or the proper alignment, and that's why going to a senior teacher that's going to give you corrections is going to make all the difference. In the Barkan Method Hot Yoga Teacher Training online course, you can send me videos of yourself on the practice, and I can come in and give you correction to make sure you're on the right track. One of my favorite metaphors is like the toy train. If you ever had a toy train at home, the front train, the wheels have to line up on the rails exactly, or you're just going to spin your wheels and it's not going to go. But as soon as you get the railing, as soon as you get the wheels right on that railing, it takes off. It's the same thing with your practice. You got to make sure you're in the right position, because if you're not in the right position, you're going to get stuck. But if you're in the proper alignment, proper position, then your body will take off. I can get you to that position because I'm the Hot Yoga Whisperer. So that's our episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell. And if you enjoy this video, hit the like button. Any questions you have, comments, put them down below. I'm happy to get back to you. If you want to learn all about hot yoga, tutorials, flows, factoids like this video, hit the like button and the subscribe button right now, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.